And we're live. Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us here today. I hope everyone is safe and doing well. I am Tanishka Bansal, the Campus Ambassador and Social Media Manager for Scholarship Track India, and also today's host for our live event with the very talented Anag Agarwal. I would like to inform you that Anag is a software development engineer at Amazon. Hi, Anag. It is a pleasure to have you here with us today.
Yeah, hi Tanishka. Yeah, it's good to be here as well. Looking forward to the session.
So, before we begin our session, I would like to tell that in the first half, Anag will be sharing his insights about his journey so far, his learnings as an applicant, and what made him secure the job at Amazon. And in the later half, we will be answering the live questions. So, you can keep entering your questions in the comment box below. And so, Anag, let's begin. Tell us
Sure.
about yourself, your education, and your role at Amazon.
Right. So I primarily hail from Mumbai back in India. I did my uh, primary and secondary schooling from there, and then I did my undergrad in computer science and engineering from Manipal University, and it was in 2014 2018. And then I directly came to the US to pursue my masters in computer science again. Did not take any experience because I really wanted to come directly for my masters. And yeah, I did my master's from Stony Brook University in Long Island, New York. It was a 1.5 years course, and I passed out with my master's in December. And March onwards, I have been working with Amazon as a software development engineer in the AWS cryptography org under the key management service team.
That's awesome, Anak. I myself am planning to take a transfer to a big name university or
Hmm.
target school, as you call it, after my
Hmm.
sophomore year because I believe a target university is an easy way to get into FANG companies. So I would
Hmm.
like to ask you, do you come from a target school?
I don't know what exactly you mean by target. If you mean like an ambitious school or like a tough school to get in, I wouldn't say Stony Brook was like my top choice. I would say it was one of my middle choices. I would say I got a lot of rejection when I applied. I applied to more than 10 colleges and I got like maybe two admits. So it was not really my top choice, but it was one of my choices where I really wanted to go as well because I really like the curriculum there, and I'm happy with my choice. Secondly, one thing that I would like to point out, you said that going to a top school makes it easier to get into FANG. I personally do not believe so, at least in the US here, because in the US, recruiters do give you a credit for being from a top school, but it doesn't necessarily help you just get into FANG. It might be a bit easier for you to land an interview at FANG if you are from a top school, and even that does not actually is based on the fact that you're from maybe Stanford or MIT. It's more about the widespread alumni that these guys schools have, and they are obviously at good places. So because of that, you might have it easy to put a foot in the door for all these companies. But cracking the interviews, and being successful at getting a job there is totally your own hard work and how you approach it.
All right. So what was the application process like? How long did it take to hear back between each round?
Yeah. So for sure, I like to say, I do not comment about the real process that we have this year. There might be some changes from last year, and the best person to ask about the real process this year might be a recruiter. But I can talk about my experience specifically at Amazon. So it was a normal application that I did. I did use a referral with a friend who already worked at Amazon, and I think I heard back from Amazon after the application about 3 weeks. So normally they try to get back soon, but when they're in peak recruiting season, it might take anywhere between 2 to 4 weeks or 5 weeks to hear back from them in the first place. And then I had the first round was more was like a debugging and logical reasoning assessment kind of a round. If you pass that, then I heard back regarding a coding assessment round. And after the coding assessment, I had like a simulation wherein they kind of try to test your not knowledge, I would say, but how you react to situations in work environment, and kind of compare them with their leadership principles, with their goals, and how Amazon works as function as a company. And if you pass that round, then we had like 3 rounds of interviews. Those are back to back 45 minutes each virtual interviews that are conducted over a video call, as we're doing right now. And those were mainly very technical in nature because I hail from a software development engineering background. So yeah, there were technical questions. It was mainly two coding questions, I would say, in each round, with some, not some, I would say, like some rounds had more uh, emphasis on your resume, on some projects or some internship that you completed, and some were pure coding rounds. So a mixture of all that. So this was a process at Amazon last year that I gave.
All right. So, how did you prepare for the interview, and what tips would you like to give to our viewers?
Right. So I think one of the main things that people might know and would have heard from a lot of people is lead code. To put it in more general terms, I would say competitive programming. So lead code, hacker rank, maybe geeks for geeks, something of that sort. So what these platforms help you to develop is the basis for developing a DS and algos going forward, is what I feel. If you're already good at it, these platforms help you to be in touch, practice them over time, and become more better at it. But even if you haven't started and you're not so good at DS algos, these platforms really help you build that base from scratch. So I believe this is like one of the main things. Lead code, hacker rank is what I would recommend for everyone. And other than that, we have to do a lot of object oriented. I'm just a second. My phone is kind of bugging me. I'm gonna,
Sure.
yeah. Uh, the second thing that I would say was learning about object oriented programming and system design concepts. So object-oriented designing deals with, I would say, how to make your code more readable. Cut short your code, all that concepts of OOPS. Mainly, people must have heard of OOPS Java. And system design deals with how to go about building systems. It mainly does not deal with any kind of coding and stuff like that. Like OOPS still deals with a lot of coding stuff, but system design deals with more how about systems work, and how about you going, like if someone asks you, how does Facebook Messenger works. So the system behind it, the basic system, not like how Facebook does it, but how a normal chatbot or how a message service works. That's something of that sort. So you should be able to talk about how systems are designed as well for full-time interviews. So I think these are the three main components that I would say that you need to work on for interviews, for software development interviews at Fang or any other company as well. For and in terms of tips and tricks, the one main thing that I was get what I would say is like, it is like a long effort. Okay, it's not like you got a call from Amazon and you have an interview in like 15 days, and in 15 days you'll be prepared for it and you will crack it. That is not how it works. Okay, you really have to put in that effort to be in that phase. Like I started to when I applied in maybe August or September last year, and I had already started to work on developing my skill set in all these three areas from August onwards. And I gave my interviews in the period of October to November. So I had that backing of 2.5 months, wherein that gave me the confidence. Okay, yeah, I am good at what I do. My base is strong, and I can go about giving interviews. So yeah, that is the main thing I would say. You have to go
All right.
long.
So, and last, yeah. All right. Lastly, what is your advice for the current applicants?
Advice, as I said, I would just repeat that again. You have to be at it continuously. Uh, when I say that, for example, people do this, they've sit on the weekend and they would do like 20, 25 questions of lead code, and they're like, oh, I did 25 questions in a week. But I would say it's better to do like 2 questions every day for the week. Those 14 questions that you did as a continuous effort is way better than, doing questions at once together, because that continuous effort is what builds up your base, and keeps you in that phase. Okay, that I have to complete this every day, and it's like a commitment that you do to yourself. So that is what I recommend. Have a continuous effort, first of all. And secondly, rejections are very normal. Like, you will get rejected from a lot of companies when if I remember correctly, I had done more than 500 applications, and rejections were normal every day. Like, I did not hear back from Google, I did not hear back from Salesforce, and I did not hear back from, Apple. So it's not like you'll hear back from all the companies. It's about being at it, not getting disheartened if you're getting rejected, and once you hear back from a company, then taking it upon you to crack it and give it your all.
All right. So um, now, Anag, we will be taking up questions from our viewers.
Sure, yeah.
Uh,
Okay, I can read that. What is better, taking experience after graduation and then pursuing postgrad, or going for postgrad straight away? So I believe it is a very open-ended question. There are a lot of people who recommend taking some kind of experience and then coming here, and I know a lot of people who have come without experience and they have still been successful. Even when I was coming, my friends or my seniors who I used to talk to, they recommended me to like take some kind of experience, but I really wanted to come at that one, and I came, and I think I'm doing fine. Uh, just to make some differences about how it works. So if you come without experiences, right, you are just applying for entry level positions at every company. Okay. And if you come with experience, you have a shot at applying for a normal position that they have, maybe even a software development engineer 2 level kind of a position, right? But in the US, cracking a software development engineer position two is very tough, is what I have seen from my experience, and looking at my friends who had experience. And majority of them end up starting at SD, like SD one level, the software development engineering one level. But I do not specifically recommend that you should come without graduation or with graduation. There are pros and cons to both of them, and that is something that you need to talk to people, figure it on your own, that what works for you better, and then take a call. I was very sure that I wanted to come without any kind of experience, and that worked out fine for me. And there are people who come with like 3 4 years experience, and even that works out fine for them totally. How did you apply? We already got responsible for applying at the careers page. Okay. So one thing that really is important is networking in the US specifically. So when I say networking, talking to people on LinkedIn, not just maybe recruiters, even normal engineers, managers, come across, try to connect with them, try to talk with them. Maybe not about the job, but just normally, how's your Amazon? I was trying to apply, and what would you recommend? Something of that sort. So networking is very important in the US. Pinging recruiters, trying to talk to them, uh, then these are like important steps. You might most probably not hear back from these people as well, but as I said, continuous effort, right? If you ping 10 recruiters, at least one of them would get back to you, and that might just be your foot in the door for that company to get an interview call. And other than that, referrals are a good way to get your resume to that first stage of I would say discardation that might happen, because big companies get like thousands and lakhs of resumes for every kind of position. So having a referral, someone in the company refer you, that is also a good step. But even that might or might not work. I'm not saying specifically that referral will 100% work. It depends, how many positions are companies looking to hire for, and what is the current job market scenario and stuff like that. But yeah, referrals and networking is the key here to have a better shot at getting replies from companies. Could you please suggest how to prepare for a system design question? Uh, there is no specific way that I can say. I used to see a lot of YouTube videos from a lot of people. I really don't remember specific names out there. It's been quite a long while, almost a year now. But yeah, there's a lot of people on YouTube who have great system design questions, and maybe I can connect back with people at scholarship track and get it back to all of you what I used specifically. And one thing that comes into my mind is there's something called grokking the system design interview. That is one of the best system design tutorials, or a set of like it's like lead code for system design, what I would say. So that is a very good base to start learning, or working towards system design questions for your interviews. Can you share any info regarding these? Regarding what? I do not know that. I think we can move to the next, and the person can just get back what exactly he meant. Oh, sorry. How can we use AWS Educate program properly? Okay. Very honestly, I do not know a lot about AWS Educate program, so I think I'm gonna refrain from commenting on that at all. A recruiter, or the website is a great place to know more about it and how does it work. Yeah, I have really not a lot of information about that. Sorry. In interview, our interviewers ask questions based on programming languages. No. So any interview that I have given, I have never been restricted to give my interview in a specific coding language. And I have seen like all the languages that, so there's always a Dropbox there that they have on the coding screens that you can choose from, and what specific coding language you want to work with. And none of the coding questions are very specific coding based. Okay, like this question is Java based or it's Python based. Nothing of that sort. All the coding interview questions are mainly trying to gauge your data structures and algorithms potential and how good you are at them, and that can be done in any language. There is no barrier. Like I have given interviews wherein the position reads as Java software development engineer, and there's still an option to give the coding interviews in Python or in any other language that you're comfortable with. So yeah, Python, C++, Java. If you are okay, if people are like learning like Rust, Golang, anything works. There is no barrier to using what programming language to give interviews.
Thank you so much, Anak. That was a great session. You
Yep.
covered a lot of details in depth, and I'm pretty sure everybody enjoyed and took a lot of valuable information. So, would you like to say something?
Uh, uh, I would just say, that for me, it's been a great experience to come to the US and like work at Amazon right now. I really enjoy my work. Uh, but yeah, it's tough, relatively it's tough for people like us because, we end up that we are immigrants here, and it's a bit tougher compared to people who are American citizens, no doubt. But the opportunities are there, and if you put in the right effort, and that will prepare you for being a success here in the US is what I feel. But you have to put in the efforts and stay at it.
All right, it was a great session, and we end it here. Thank you so much, everybody. Thank you, Anak.
Thank you so much,
Have
Noisha.
a nice day.
Yeah, you too.